You know what I really wanted when I walked out of the movie Raw? I really wanted some meat. That's exactly what I wanted. No, this movie has put me off meat for a few days. Watching this movie was just like, wow. Uh, a lot of controversy, or shall I say, not controversy, just attention more than anything, has been going towards this film recently. I've seen articles about how people have like fainted at the premiere at the Cannes Film Festival and stuff like that. And I've got to be honest with you, it wasn't that bad. I mean, the movie's pretty extreme and it's pretty off-putting. I mean, you can't eat while watching this movie. I'd say do not go into this movie on a full stomach, or do not eat when you're watching this movie because it won't go well. But this movie isn't as bad as you're led to believe either in that sense, because there's nothing really in this film that goes on for too long or is in too much detail. So I think that it got kind of an unfair reception because I feel like people won't go and see this movie in like the worry that they're going to throw up if they do. But I was surprised because they actually showed this movie at my local in like the biggest screen we had as well. And I remember when Elle came out, another French movie, and that was like in a tiny screen and it was completely empty in there. It was just me and a couple of people. And with this movie, it was quite busy actually, and it was surprising. I guess maybe this movie's been pretty dead for film, so people have just seen whatever's out. I'm glad this movie's doing well because it's a very good movie, and I feel like, you know, foreign movies should be supported too. I mean, I guess in England a lot of movies are foreign because we see a lot of American movies, but what I mean is like foreign language films, French movies, that sort of stuff. I feel like they definitely should be supported, and I'm glad that this one's getting more support than Elle did, because I wish Elle got more support than it did, but you know, Raw is a good movie. Now, I will get into spoilers about halfway through this video because it's another one of those ones where I really want to talk about it in detail. But for the first sort of half, I'm going to just talk about the movie, what I liked and didn't like. You know, it's a simple review. So, Raw follows a young girl who is going to veterinary school. She wants to be a vet. Her whole family are vegetarians. And when she's at this school, you know, all these students are like, you know, they're rebellious. This is what you do when you're a student. I'm going to university. I know what it's going to be like. This movie pretty much shows us exactly what it's going to be like. And they go through a hazing ritual because, you know, it's more of an American thing, but they do that. And they force this young girl to eat some raw meat, some rabbit kidney, because that's how they get initiated into this college or university, whatever they call it in France. And then, well, I guess you can guess what happens next. It's a movie about cannibalism, but more than about cannibalism, I feel like there's deeper meanings to it, which I want to go into later in the spoiler section. But I feel like there's a deeper meaning. I don't feel like this movie was supposed to be about the cannibalism. The cannibalism was like a mechanism for something else. But yeah, we'll get into that. The performances all around are very good. The main actress, I don't know who she is. I'm not going to attempt to look it up because I probably won't be able to pronounce it and I'll just butcher it. But she did very well. I've never seen her in a movie before, but maybe she's more famous in France because I'm not from France. But she was very good in this film. And everyone as a whole was pretty good. The sister was pretty good. I mean, it started off pretty bizarre. And as it went on, it got stranger, but in a more subtle way. Like, this girl starts off as just a normal girl who, you know, she's a vegetarian. She doesn't want to be involved with all this drinking and partying. She just wants to be there to study. And then throughout the movie, she goes through changes that are so subtle that by the end of it, when you see who she's become at the end, you're like, I did not see this transgression at all. I did not see this transformation. So it's more a movie about that, and less a horror movie about straight up cannibalism, which is what I was expecting. So I won't say this movie's necessarily a horror, it's just got those elements to it. It's got elements of a few different genres, and I liked it for that. It was almost like Edge of 17 meets, like, I don't know, some mad zombie film that's not really a zombie film. That's how I felt about it. Now, like I said when I saw The Neon Demon, that made me physically sick. I walked out. I was violently uncomfortable when I watched that film. With this one, I had a sense of being uncomfortable throughout the whole film, but I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. I never felt so uncomfortable that I was wanting to throw up, which is that's what I expected from it. But yeah, with the case of The Neon Demon and this, they're so different in that sense. But anyway, I want to talk about the ending and how I take it, and not just the ending, just the transformation throughout. So this section here will contain spoilers from here on out. So if you don't want the movie spoiled, then I have plenty of other videos you can check out. You can come back to this one later, or if you just don't care, let's talk about these spoilers. So, the young girl, as she goes through this transformation, like I said, she starts off and she eats this raw meat, and she starts eating like raw meat out of the fridge, and then there's a really bizarre, weird, uncomfortable sequence with hair waxing, which I don't want to go into detail with, but as a result, her sister ends up getting her finger chopped off and she passes out, and then we see her eating her sister's finger because she's got this, like, this addiction to raw meat. It's almost like a drug addiction, you know? It's almost like she's trying to hide it. Her sister wakes up and she's like, oh shit. And it's like, yeah, I can see how this is sort of... So the way I sort of took it, it was like, I didn't take it as drug addiction. I didn't take it as a metaphor for that. What I took it as, I mean, it could be, but what I took it as was a metaphor for sexual frustration in teenage girls. The reason I say that is because there's another character in this movie who's a roommate of hers. He's gay, and obviously there is a romantic connection between them. And she's constantly wanting to eat him in the film. Like, it sounds really weird. Like, the way I'm describing this film makes it sound like a really weird film. It is genuinely a good film, but she wants to eat him, and it's like, okay, I can see that where this is going to end up. It's probably going to happen. But what I saw it as is that she was frustrated sexually, and that's why she was doing this, because there's a lot of sexual, you know, undertones in this film that they really try and show to you. So that's what I feel like this whole film's a metaphor for. But yeah, so she eats her sister's finger, and we actually find out that the cannibalism runs in the family. So it's not just her that's the cannibal in this film. It's not just her as a one-off. That's why the whole family are vegetarians, because I guess her mother, the father at the end reveals that her mother was a cannibal in vet school. He's got like pieces of his flesh removed off his chest and stuff, and he's like, yeah, we saw a way to work it out. So I saw it as the mother sort of, you know, wanted them to be vegetarians because she didn't want this whole cannibalism thing to start, and that's why the sister acts very strangely in the movie as well. So it was very subtle in its approach, because like, throughout the movie, you see her at first and you don't know anything of it. And then there's one scene, just one particular scene, where she gets drunk and she's crawling around in like a morgue at the vet school, and there's a dead body in there, and she's trying to, like, the sister's taunting her with like the fingers or whatever, and she's trying to eat them, and it's like, this is where she's come to, you know, she's literally acting like a zombie on the floor. And when you see the movie and you see that scene and you look at it, and it's like, yeah, you will not see it coming in the way it does. So I thought this movie was very good and very subtle in its approach to what it was going for. So yeah, I really did like this movie. There are certain parts of it that feel a bit strange or off, but overall it's a very, very good movie and very interesting, because when I was watching it, I wasn't really thinking of it as an amazing film. I was just sort of watching it thinking, yeah, okay. And then I walked out and I thought of all the undertones and all the transformation and everything, and I thought, this film was really, really good. It's the film that grips you from beginning to end, and then you walk out just liking it more than you did when you first started watching it. So overall, Raw, I really like this film. I want to see more French language films, because both I've seen this year have been very good. And I hope we get more movies like this in the future, where it's not just about the horror and the gore, because it does play a part, but it's not as bad as you're led to believe. But films like this, I need more of them, because they're so interesting, and it was pretty original in its approach to what it was going for. So yeah, Raw, thought it was very good. I definitely recommend it. It's probably going to be the best film of the week. I've seen The Boss Baby, so I can already rule that out. The only films I've got left to see are Going in Style and Table 19, I believe, and I don't think any of those are going to be that good. So overall, yeah, I feel like this is the movie you should probably go and see this week, and I feel like it's the movie people probably are going to go and see from what I saw when I went to my screening. So let me know what you guys think of Raw if you've seen it. If not, are you going to? And thank you guys for watching this review. I'll be back soon.